our next story in CBDNN is regarding the BFASA. You said that's
Black Farmers Association of South Africa.
high five, Joe. Now, the reason we're talking about them, this came up briefly in last week's show, is that this morning they marched on SAHPRA. And it turns out that these guys have a real SAHPRA must fall vibe going at the moment. Have you, Charles, you spoke highly of it. We didn't go, we were all working in that. But you'd said you'd read a bit about it and seen what their vibes were?
Yeah, they have quite a mouthful to say. We'll upload the PDF with a brief of the event this week, probably onto Fields of Green. But yeah, they have a whole lot of reasons why they are opposed to the license system and how it was implemented and how it is used.
And the corruption behind it.
Yeah, and the corruption behind it, and also the capture attempt and
Yes.
the whole pump and dump vibe of the whole thing. We've always smelt that these licenses are a little bit off, and now it seems they really are rotten. So I don't know if there's a court case tied to this. Do you guys know?
And look, what they were marching, the purpose of the protest from their press release is to highlight...
Was today.
Yeah. This was to highlight serious maladministration of the cannabis license issuing. They say that access to licenses by black people has been denied or obstructed in favour of issuing licenses to foreign big pharma companies. So there's improper or unlawful conduct by employees on the board of SAHPRA. They're ignoring the requirement of BEE parameters to be enforced. Generally just, yeah.
There's a whole lot of
They're not happy with
accusations, eh?
SAHPRA. No,
a whole list.
And
a
we
lot of
do
exclusion.
know
Lot of
that the Hawks
exclusion.
are investigating the SAHPRA.
And it makes
for-
absolutely no sense that they are not helping the local communities get these things and work with them, but instead of pumping it into the foreigners.
Yeah,
it
look
doesn't
what's
make
happening
any
in the
sense.
Lesotho. They're using the water from the small communities where people walk kilometers
Yeah.
every day to get just enough water to live. These companies are using the water
And
in
it's
Lesotho.
foreigners that are going there essentially
The
out
wheat
of their
growers.
country
That's it.
to another country
Yeah.
and use the resources as they please and not give back to the community.
So
or
it's
at least
human rights
involve them.
violations right there.
Yeah.
It's
You know what it is?
So, yeah.
It's kind of like there's terms like in the movie industry, sexploitation, blaxploitation, and things like that. And I think we're seeing it with cannabis, that people are so desperate to get into it that they're almost naive to an extent. And I'm not saying these people
Yeah.
it's even a choice. These people
Yeah.
need the fucking jobs and that.
Yeah.
But you maybe they fall into that stoner stereotype. They think, oh, they're going to be cool people, you know, they're going to be irie and that.
They weren't consulted, and they say they were better off before the corporations arrived.
Yeah.
If that doesn't say it all,
My
That's
whole
it.
mission is they still pay them minimum wage, which is pointless.
Yeah.
Okay, so why? This is the whole thing. Everyone wants to just slot cannabis into the normal industry, but the normal industry is fucked.
It's not working. Yeah.
The way
It's
they
not-
treat the workers is not right.
This
It should
plant
be better. We should be
will
You need to
definitely
legalizing
not
empower
just
the
melt
existing
into
industry.
This fake thing that man has created. It's here to mess all these things up. That's why people like SAHPRA and those people, they're trying to box it in, put it back in the box. But you can't do that. It's out now. We have science.
That's it.
We
We
know.
have science on our side.
no, the research
So,
was done.
I
It's
mean-
done. It's finished. The results are there. We've got proof. The only research that needs to be done now is to refine the medicine side of cannabis.
But the problem is that
research shows that
these
it's
people
safe
come
enough
in,
to
they pay
legal-
them minimum
legalize.
wage. They don't really change anything. I know some people, they were to wash over the cops, giving them basically free. They had to just repave the taxi rank and give the police soccer team new jerseys.
Sure.
So I mean, who are you helping there? You know, you're not really helping anyone besides the people who are in that meeting. That's really
Big thing. They're saying, yeah, there's gang corruption at SAHPRA and all that. But the real thing they're bringing up is that the barriers to entry for this cannabis thing excludes them.
Yeah.
And
Excludes
they-
everybody.
they-
these
they-
companies are going to run a loss for 10 years.
They have
How's
no
anyone
control.
going to be able to stand next to that?
Yeah.
They're laying out 100 million rand just for building.
$100 million. Do you
Just
think
for
people
building
just have that lying around? Even
structure.
big corporations. they
And
just have that
we
to
still
do.
get phone calls at Fields of Green every day that ask us,
Yeah.
where can we buy seeds and where can we get an offtake agreement? Because that's the two pieces of the puzzle that SAHPRA don't explain to you when you want a license. And these people don't know. They're out there in the wild trying to solve it. How can we buy seeds if cannabis is illegal to trade?
Exactly.
It's fucked up.
They also
No,
took
you
time
can
to
import them.
highlight police
So-
arresting and harassing the indigenous populations when it is now legal to grow at
Stealing
home.
the food off the table.
And Finance Minister Tito Mboweni expects the new legal cannabis industry to pour in an estimated 4 billion into the government's tax coffers and to unlock rural economy. This cannot be done while there is strict and costly bureaucratic red tape preventing most people from participating.
And arrests.
Is this another rush to corporate capture?
It looks like it.
Again,
right
how
now.
is a village in the middle of nowhere going to compete? They have the land, they have the space, they have the valley. They're already growing.
And
They have the labour.
And the
They should be
labour,
able to
They're
Yeah.
doing
own
it.
it.
They are the
They have the
existing
labour.
industry.
They are ready.
Yeah.
They are the industry. They just need to be legitimized.
The hurdle is too high.
It's
And you have
ridiculous.
to wear a fancy uniform. You can't come running. You can't run this race barefoot. Why? Why can't I run this race barefoot? Let that dude run in his Nikes. I want to do it barefoot.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Maybe you better be.
If I fall, then I fall. You know.
Yeah.
I chose to run the race. So I just feel like the way they
Gee my kaalvoetdag af.
pushing for this high capital input, you know, and making that a requirement at the end of the day.
All that they have to do is they have to allow the farmer that works on his field, in his crop, in his land, on his property, to grow the crop under certain guidelines and certain regulations.
Sell
where
it to
says
the
you
hub.
can't use poison on this. You can't use sewage on this. That is basic GAP, good agricultural practices. Just don't use bad to feed it, and don't cover it in poisons.
Food grade.
And when it's
No.
ready, you do X and you bring it to the depot. If it passes whatever, there's a
Yeah.
grading, it'll go for extraction, or if it's really good, like the indoor stuff, it'll go south. Allow them to do it.
Yeah. Get it
Why
to a
not?
hub and it
Why
gets
not do
into
it? It's
cannabis.
the
There
easiest
will
way
be tons of
to
cannabis
empower
grown for
everybody.
oil extraction by outdoor farmers that will be able to produce high quality cannabis for
And
you.
take money
And
straight
if there's
into the
an avenue for these guys to make money, they will educate themselves so fucking quickly,
and empower
and they will
themselves.
show every farmer that they know. They will go and they'll say, listen,
They'll go to start teaching
they'll
our
talk
master
to,
growers.
they'll
if they
go
want
to every other farm. They say, this is not how you do it. This is how you do it. If you do it right, my friend,
People
you're
will
going to
learn
make money
quickly
to
if
feed
they're
your
not
family.
arrested
As
all
soon
the
as they
time.
know that, they'll be like, we'll do this correctly. We are not lazy in South Africa to do it right. They want to do it right to make money.
We just want to be allowed.
But thank you.
Just let us.
We're just not allowed to do it.
Just stop throwing
Take
us
the
in
police
cages
away
and
from
let
it.
us.
Exactly.
Take the police and
we have
SAHPRA out of
the
it.
ability to take over, but they
Yeah.
are shooting themselves in the foot because they want all the money for themselves.
4 billion is a joke.
This
4 billion
controversial
rand is a
cannabis
joke.
bill,
It's
you know, this
nothing.
bill was written by the Justice
Chump change,
Department.
man.
Should be written by the Agriculture Department,
Exactly.
So, Charles, you
not the
hit
Justice Department.
you hit on a very valid point here. Is that SAHPRA is definitely feeling the burn of being the bottleneck. I feel like there should be other departments that these guys, I'm not here to say what they must do, I respect what they've done, but maybe there are other departments that should be marched on. Even if
Almost
they're
all
not
of them.
involved, they should be marched on because they should be involved.
Cannabis pertains to 21, I think, government departments.
Yeah.
Almost all of them should be involved. Not one, not two, almost all of them.
Yeah.
But also, we don't need to. I can be a lazy guy and choose the path of least resistance sometimes. And when I look at this whole puzzle, what I see is we don't really need to change much. Let the people who are doing it the way they're doing it do it without getting their doors kicked in. If an oak wants to buy a Pippy 2 rand stalk, that's cool. I got no objections. But
why
maybe
not?
for the oaks who want to spend a 50 and 100, I think we are so woke as a civilization now in society that we can regulate it ourselves. If there's an oak that's going to have a listeriosis, I'm not going to buy his ganja, you know? If I'm going to spend 150, I, as a person, I don't give a fuck what the law says. I don't give a fuck what the blue spider mite says. But just allow what's informal to be, and what can formalize from that will formalize.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily gunning to be in the shop selling on your shelf, but they would like to provide biomass for a
Whatever purpose.
because they can grow hemp all fucking day long if they want to. They can grow CBD high strains or THC high strains that'll be extracted in the GMP environment and make sure that it's food safe and safe, medical safe. And
Those people won't waste their time with dirty stuff.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
they won't. Because all they have is to
There's
make
already-
it perfect. They
There's
can't
already
fuck
quality
around.
control gates set ahead for this or most things to follow. They don't need a new thing or
A
make
big
it super,
plan.
Make it super science.
Yeah, man.
If you want to go super science, there's guys ready to do it.
Yeah, man.
So-
And I promise you, you'll get your fucking van. You'll get your
They will.
slice.
They will, yeah, they will.
Everyone will willingly pay you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
How much must we put on now? 15%?
Because I can tell you this
Tell
much.
us how much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll put it. Fuck a law.
within reason. Because also we don't want to tax ourselves into a hole.
Yeah, tax ourselves straight back into the black market.
Yeah, no, we need to be pragmatic. So,
Mm.
all the best with these Oaks. I genuinely, I hope they had an impact. I'm not sure what the result was of the
I've
march.
seen
We've
some
seen
videos
footage.
of the march and it looked really cool. It was just a typical stoner march. There was singing and there was dancing. There
Banners.
there was banners. The traditional THO was there, Traditional Healers Organization.
Yeah.
Saw a lot of them supporting today. I saw Russ Tao leading the way, singing. It was beautiful. It was just so beautiful, so peaceful.
And they handed over a letter to SAHPRA.
Yeah, and there was. It looked like there were a few hundred, maybe a couple of hundred people there,
Yeah.
which is good.
It was good. And it's good to hear there's more fire because, as I said last week, we're still at the beginning of the story, hey?
Yeah.
But SAHPRA's definitely feeling the burn.
Yeah, they must.
Big time, hey? It's time for other players to get involved, and I hope we can see beyond SAHPRA because they're
Yeah.
a cut first step, but they're just the beginning.
Fields of green for all, not fields of green for those with licenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And especially at the
Those who can run
exclusion
a
of
loss for
others.
15 years.
Yeah, man.
Employ 200 people if they're lucky. Because that other facility in Cape Town as well, 40 people or something. What?
Yeah,
40 people from the local community is going to get jobs.
and all they're
One
doing,
facility.
they're giving the currently with the
That's just the
license
start.
thing
Minimum wage.
minimum
Yeah.
wage. Bro.
Minimum wage though.
And
So-
pay them in red roast.
Are they trying to technologize?
Yeah, well,
Overtake
obviously they
Overtake.
yeah, it's just
Look, I mean, okay, look, at the end of the day, yes, minimum
it's not an
wage.
easy thing,
but it's a
the
job,
way
but it's-
some people have done it so far,
Mm.
atrocious.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's terrible to see the big guys fail because you have got it easy right now. You have got so much money in your pocket, and you have been given a 75-meter head start in the 100-meter sprint. So don't fuck up. Be cool. But yeah, guys, this needs to be more inclusive. There can't be head starts. Yes, maybe for certain historical issues there should be head starts, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to touch on that. But it feels like we've got our head starts, our priorities the wrong
The
way.
head starts shouldn't be the big international companies that could actually afford to employ hundreds of people instead of trying to keep it to a
To the
minimum.
minimum, yeah. It's just strange.
Yeah, and there's no community upliftment with that.